What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to the Uncommon Mindset podcast. Today, I'm joined by someone who's a very, very special guest. I'll just give you a brief background on who he is. I'm joined today by Henry Allan Engelhardt. He's an American businessman and the founder and former chief executive of Admiral Group, a Welsh motor insurance company that was launched in 1993. He was credited as driving the company into a position where it became one of Britain's most valuable companies and stepped down as chief executive in 2016 to make way for a younger management team to take the group forward. Admiral is not just an ordinary insurance company. It has been voted a numerous amount of times as one of the best places to work, and the main focus above all are the customers. Thank you for joining me today, Henry.
Thanks, Murat. It's great to be here.
No worries. So I just want to take it all the way back. So can you just talk to me about like your upbringing, where you was born and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. I was raised in a suburb of Chicago. So, yeah, if you can't tell by now, I'm American. But I lived in the UK for over 30 years. So if you did pick up the accent, well done to you, because it's just a wisp of an accent left. Seriously, I had a lovely childhood. Had lots of friends. We would play all sorts of games. Very much into sports. Good schooling. It was great. And so I started working when I was 13. My first job was at a place called Poochie's. Poochie's sold hamburgers and hot dogs, but upmarket. The meat for the hamburgers came directly from a butcher shop, and they always had the best tomatoes and so forth and so on. And it really hit a rich seam for families that, maybe they didn't want to cook that night, but oh, McDonald's, the kids and this kind of thing. But Poochie's, they felt good about going to because it was good quality and everybody loved it. So that was the beginning of my working experience. I was 13 years old.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, no, I've obviously read your book as well. Sorry I didn't mention earlier that Henry is also an author, and he's written a book called Think, Lead, Succeed: The Admiral Way. And honestly, it's such an amazing book. I've took so many quotes and notes from it. So when you actually mentioned there that you worked for Poochie's, in the book that you mentioned, there's like a Burger King just down the road, but
Yeah,
people were still queuing up for Poochie's because of obviously the quality and efficiency. So that was brilliant to see that, that you've taken that from that job and introduced it, like further on down the line.
I think if you're an aspiring manager, what I found is everything is a learning experience.
Mm.
And sometimes you're learning as you're going, and sometimes you don't realize you're learning until later. And when I look back, there were a lot of lessons I learned at Poochie's and a lot of the other jobs I held after that, because I've basically been, since then, I've always, virtually always been in employment,
Yeah.
except perhaps of brief times when I was in school. And even then, I did work. But you learn from everything. Good bosses, good businesses, bad businesses. And from Poochie's, it was a really good message of quality actually matters. People don't just go out and always just buy the cheapest thing. They do think about it, and quality is important.
Yeah, of course. Can I just ask what made you move to the UK?
My wife is French, and the UK is our compromise. We speak English. We get American football on Sunday nights, and we're hop, skip, and a jump from Paris. And like I say, we've been here for over 30 years, raised our family here. It worked. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. No, that's amazing. And how did Admiral come about? Because I know that you was working for Churchill, was it, before?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I was the original marketing and sales manager at Churchill and joined them before Churchill launched. Churchill launched in June of 1989,
Mhm.
and it must have been late 1990, early 91. I got a call from somebody else looking to start one up. Would I be interested in being the managing director? And I thought I sure would. Churchill was a bit of a flawed environment. In fact, I learned many things at Churchill, mostly what not to do.
Mhm.
And I have a lot of them have carried into Admiral. The things that Admiral does are based on things Churchill did poorly. For instance, at Churchill, the CEO had chairs with arms for all the managers and chairs without arms for everybody else. And it was just a clear delineation of, managerial and non-managerial. And you go, why? I looked at that and go, why in the world, given all the things from the outside, competition, regulation, and consumer behavior, and changing economic environments, and so forth and so on. There's so many challenges from the outside world. Why would you go out of your way to divide your workforce inside? Why create those tensions and that disunity? So we always had the same chairs at Admiral because of that. So anyway, when the headhunter called, I jumped at the chance. And this turned out to be a managing agency at Lloyd's of London that was setting one up, was interested. They needed more sterling into their cash flow.
Mhm.
And car insurance brings in a lot of sterling. And they saw people like Direct Line and Churchill, and they thought, well, why don't we do it this newfangled way, which is telephone delivery? And off they went, and they found me for their sins. So that's how it kind of got started. And I joined, it was June of 1991, put together a small team. There were 5 of us. We wrote a business plan. We got it approved. And April 1st of 92, we started spending money and implementing the plan. And we launched and sold the first policy at 9 a.m. the 2nd of January, 1993.
Wow, that's amazing. No, it's amazing. And you obviously touched on there, like Admiral, uh, like I work for Admiral myself, and I can see why it's one of the best companies to work for. You mentioned in your book, the key driver of financial success is people who come to work happy every morning. And, Admiral has won for 19 years straight the Sunday Times, as one of the best companies to work for. And I can honestly say myself that just working there, like everyone is treated equally, and I can see why it is voted as one of the best companies to work for. You obviously, I know that Admiral has the 4 pillars: communication, equality, reward, and fun. Can you just touch on like just a couple of key factors on those 4 pillars, and
Yeah,
why you chose them for?
yeah. I mean, the basis of our culture, was laid at the foundation. There's a lot of things there. I mean, I remember getting the other when we were just 5, and I got the other 4 together around our boardroom table, which was a small circular table in this cheap, nasty office we had. And I said to them then, I said, I expect to have a good business career and I expect to have a good family life. And I don't believe the two are mutually exclusive.
Mhm.
And I said, I will work hard, but I will not be here all hours, day and night. I believe in some sort of balance. And one of the things I'm most proud of is that I basically had breakfast with my family almost every morning and dinner with my family virtually every evening. There
Mhm.
were moments when I had to get out early or I was on the road or something, but by and large, I did not spend my life in the office. And I think that's very important. And it carries over into what Admiral is today, the work-life balance that we believe in. And but that what I learned from that was that that's how you get people to stay working for you for many years, because so many organizations burn through their people quickly. They work them really, really hard for short periods of time. And then, not surprisingly, the people go somewhere else and they lose that experience, they lose that knowledge, they lose that energy. And keeping all that is really valuable. So the 4 pillars developed over time. A culture is a living organism, it's always changing, it's always evolving and always moving. And so we kind of put a framework around it with these 4 pillars, probably somewhere in the late 1990s. But one thing is these are pillars. The culture rests on the pillars. We very much believe in what we call tribalism, and tribalism is that every area expresses their culture in a slightly different way. We don't expect the team in Spain to be identical to the team in Swansea, to the team in Newport. Even different departments in Newport will have different cultures, slightly different cultures. What we do expect is that all the cultures rest on those pillars. communication, equality, reward, and fun. And from there, they do it their own way, because you can't just slap on a culture and expect everybody to grab it, because everybody's different. The people who are running in those operations, they're different from each other, and they express the culture differently. And the people they're managing are different. Tell me the sales teams aren't different from the claims guys. A culture has to be allowed to live freely. But the four pillars, it's really important. Communication, you can almost never over communicate. Virtually impossible. And the first point I'd say about this is we have an amazing culture in Admiral that it's open plan. No managerial offices. It doesn't matter if you're in Delhi or Halifax or Seville or Swansea, no managers have offices. Everybody's out in the open. And that encourages communication, because what do offices do? What do walls do? Even glass walls. They stop people from coming in. They stop people from hearing and seeing. They limit communication. Yes, you want privacy? Go to a meeting room, no problem. But otherwise, everybody's out, everybody's communicated with. It's easy to do. Beyond that, we do so much to communicate two-way. We'd have to do a whole nother podcast, Murat, for me to go into I could do a podcast just on communication.
Yeah.
So we'll just suffice to say that communication is really, really important, especially now with people working from home and not seeing their colleagues and not, their teammates. And, more and more, the managers really have to step up and communicate more and better. And is it easy to do? No. But that's why they're managers. They have to manage this situation. And communication is incredibly key. People want to feel involved. They want to feel part of the whole. They want to know what's going on. Hugely important. Equality in our context, there are differences. This isn't a commune, it's a business. And people do get paid different amounts of money and have different titles and all that. But equality means we go out of our way to get rid of the obvious divides between people. So everybody has the same chair. Everybody sits open plan. We try and make sure that you have the right desk for your job, that it's not by your title, it's by what your job is. There's a huge amount that goes into equality. The programs for things like pensions and so forth are not biased towards managers. Everybody owns a part of the company. That's important too. So equality is a very important aspect of our culture. Everybody's important. Every job is important at Admiral. Otherwise, why would we hire them? Some people, I've heard managers say, and it really gets me when I hear a manager say, I say, well, why don't you say thank you to that person or something like that? They go, well, hey, that's why we pay them. And that's true. I mean, we do get paid for our work, and there are very few people who are going to work at Admiral or anywhere if they don't get paid. But it's not just about getting paid. It's about realizing how important everybody is to the organization. And a lot of people, they don't say good morning, for instance, to the people who clean the bathrooms. Well, why wouldn't you do that? I'll tell you what. Try when the offices are open again. Of course, this doesn't really make so much sense when the offices are closed. But when the offices are open again, try giving the people who clean the bathrooms a week off, and then tell me whether you think they're important to the organization or not. I guarantee you'll tell me they're really important. So equality is getting rid of those obvious painful divides. There are no company cars. Churchill had a managerial dining room with its own chef 3 days a week. And it again just served to separate people. Those chairs I told you about, one time one of the chairs with arms went missing. We found it about 3 days later, and the arms had been bent out of shape. It really gets people's back up. No company cars. Company cars are a great way to divide your workforce. So equality is important. Reward. Yes, reward is monetary, very important, but there's so much more to reward that managers can learn about. And appreciation is one. I went to Elephant in the US shortly after I retired, and spent most of 2017 there, and introduced thank you cards that the managers would give out to people in the organization.
Mm.
because it was a culture that wasn't really used to saying thank you to people. And all of a sudden, these cards start popping up on people's desks. And they meant a huge amount to people to get a handwritten card from a manager that says thank you. For a manager to take the time and trouble to say thank you, it's just a huge boost to people. And they go home and they tell mom, dad, the dog, everybody knows. Yeah. It's really important to show appreciation, to keep people involved. Reward comes in many ways, even good morning and good night, just that recognition from a manager that you're there, you exist, you're important, is a huge way of rewarding people. And then there's shares. Why do we give everybody in the organization shares? Because we want everybody to feel like this is their place, this is their home, they're part of this. And to do that, the best way is to give them part of the place to own. So we give the shares out to everybody. And it's a really important aspect of what it's all about. This is their company. This is your company, Murat.
Yeah.
It's not my company, it's our company.
Yeah.
And we shape it the way we want to. Again, I could go on and on reward and teamwork and so forth. Very important stuff. Fun, yeah. Why can't we have fun at work? There are no rules really. Just decent taste, and we've abused that from time to time as well. But there's no reason you can't have a good time. I don't want to get up in the morning and go, yuck, you got to go to work. And why would I think anybody else would?
Yeah.
So yeah, we go out of our way to have fun. The Ministry of Fun started early on, getting rid of our dress code, things like this, to promote an atmosphere where people can relax, they can be themselves. We want you to enjoy your day because we want you to enjoy the day in 10 years' time and 20 years' time. And we can't, if we put everybody under great stress every day, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's amazing. No, thank you so much for touching on them. And before I actually joined Admiral, a lot of my friends were telling me, "Oh, Admiral's such a great place to work," and I didn't know what they meant until I actually, walked into the office the first day. And
Mhm.
the quote that you have is, "When people like what they do, they'll do it better," and
Yeah.
that's literally the best way to put it, because everyone there, you can see that they're working hard. They all, everyone's sitting together with their managers, like their managers are sitting right next to them. They're all working, but they're also having fun as well. There's times where, you know, when we were in the office, there was times where we done like this fun thing where they pulled one person like every like 2 minutes or so to do like press up challenge, and just little things like that. It's just so much fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly. It's we spend too many hours, and what's really interesting, if you've ever worked where you're really unhappy, yeah, it's miserable, and it's not like you can go home and flick a switch and suddenly be a happy camper at home.
yeah,
It's so unfair that bad bosses not only ruin people's day at the office, they ruin their home life as well.
yeah,
And so, if we can make you happier at home, you'll be happier at work, you'll be happier at, it's a virtuous circle. And that's really powerful. And yes, we want people to wake up and go, yeah, this is okay. It's not like you jump out of bed and race and, oh, can't wait to get into Admiral today. Hold on, Murat, it's not that exciting. But you do get up and go, yeah, this is good. I like the people I work with. I like my manager. I like what I do. I like working with customers, whether they be internal or external. And yeah, let's go and let's have a good time today. No problem.
no, of course,
So
yeah,
very important. And if people like what they do it better. If you think again about the things in your life you've done really well, I'd wager almost all, if not all of them, are things you wanted to do, that you like to do. Occasionally you can be, pistol whipped to do something really well. Yes, it's possible, but it's not going to be long lasting.
mm,
And it's difficult to repeat. So if you want people to continually do good work, make it a nice environment for them.
yeah. No, that's amazing. No, thank you so much. And you know, I just want to touch on this now. There obviously, there's up and life is like a roller coaster, right? There's ups and there's downs. How did you deal with any like tough situations that came your way? Whether that's even in life or even in Admiral.
Yeah, well, there have been many. You're absolutely right. I tell all the when people move into senior roles, I tell them you're going to have good days and bad days,
Yeah.
and don't let the bad days get you down. There will also be good days. It's tough. The higher up you go into an organization, the more pressure you're under, the more stress that's on you, the more is expected of you. um my family, keeping that good work life balance is important. I encouraged all the people who work for me, take your holidays, don't pile them up, don't miss them, take them regularly, go out. One of my Henryisms is always take lunch.
Yeah.
Just get up and go out for an hour, whether you have lunch or not, or by yourself with a newspaper, a book, your phone, a friend, whatever it is. Clear your head, come back in. The sun is likely to rise from the east in the morning, and it's going to set in the evening to the west. And you can put yourself under great stress and pressure, or you can just say, how do I deal with this? What's the best way to attack the problem? Saying that, lost a lot of sleep. I had a lot of sleepless nights over 25 years. Um, you deal with it. Having a wonderful partner. My wife is amazing.
Yeah.
She helps. She's there to listen. She calms me down. She reminds me and puts things in perspective. So having somebody to help you through those difficult times, that's a real bonus. That's really important.
Yeah, no, of course. And even like in the office, whenever like someone had a bad day, and the managers are so like they're so open, and they tell you to just come and speak to them, and they just listen to you. And obviously that's such a huge thing, just having
Yeah,
that support there as well, because sometimes you will have some rough days, like you said, and just having someone there to listen to you, having that support is definitely
exactly.
important.
You're not on your own. We're in this together.
Yeah,
12,000 people at Admiral now. We're in this together. We all have a role to play in our success. We all have a role to play if we don't succeed.
yeah,
And we need to lean on each other. It's not like, the most obvious is there's one share price. It's not like, the customer service team in Swansea has a share price because they do really well, but the Newport claims guys, oh, they have a really bad share price because they don't do the job so well. We have one share price, guys. We're all together.
no, of
The
course,
team,
yeah.
the
And
team, the team, the team, the team.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And what has been your biggest achievement so far, Henry?
Well, I think realizing that, when we showed investors these our stunning financial results, and to be honest, they are stunning.
Mm.
We're like the only company, one of two companies in the entire FTSE that went 10 years from 2004 to 2014 or 15. 15 was it?
Yeah,
Right through the heart of the banking crisis of 2009-10, where we made record profits every year. Yeah, that's a stunning accomplishment. We a lot of financial, things that are quite amazing. And then we win these awards. We're one of the best workplaces in the world. We're the only company to be in the Sunday Times best places to work list all 19 years it's been compiled. Good Christmas trivia question.
yeah,
But it's realizing that those aren't two separate things. Being a great place to work and having great economic results aren't two separate things. They actually work hand in hand.
yeah,
We get great economic results because we're a great place to work. And our staff, they take that and apply all these lessons to the customers. And they realize, at the base of it, who's the most important person in the company? That's the customer. They
yeah.
pay all the bills. They make the cash register ring. With the simple equation, Murat, if we didn't have any customers, how many people would we employ?
No one.
And it's zero.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if you take nothing more home from this little chat, take that.
yeah,
Customer, 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 customer. Without customers, we're nothing. They are gold dust.
yeah. No, of course, yeah. No, that's amazing. And the book that you have at the moment, Think Lead Succeed, the Admiral Way. Honestly, like it's so powerful, because you even mentioned in the book, you said, don't think how can I be like Henry, rather how can I learn from Henry's experience to be a better me.
Mhm.
And it's so true, because a lot of people, they try to imitate how someone else is, when
Mhm.
obviously that you can't really do that. You have to take lessons from what they've been through and stuff like that. And this book is brilliant for that. So I definitely recommend this to anyone listening, for sure. And
That's
And
a great point, Marit. You've
yeah,
really you've read the book really thoroughly.
yeah,
That's an absolutely great point, and it's absolutely true. I'm not trying to create little me's. I'm
yeah,
trying to create better yous.
yeah. No, of course, yeah. And obviously, I'm guessing that, fear must have played a big factor in, starting a company, the size that it is at the moment, and it just keeps rising, and it's amazing to see. How do you normally deal with fear? It might be the similar, like, to tough times, but how would you deal with like a fear situation that you got yourself into?
Well, when to make a good decision, you try very much to limit your risk.
Mm.
You're always, when we started having risk management meetings, I was a bit bemused because, well, that's all we do is risk management.
Yeah,
Everything we do, we're trying to say, can we undo it? Can we get out of it quickly? Can we get somebody else to pay for it? All these types of different things that reduce the risk and therefore reduce the fear.
yeah,
And some are harder than others. When you have to sign, when we were building T Admiral and had to sign a 25-year lease, there weren't too many outs on that, so we had to do our research very carefully and make sure we were going in the right direction and doing the right thing.
yeah,
But many of our decisions are based on the fact that, yeah, if this doesn't work, we'll stop and go back, or we'll try something else, and or we've got a back door, we can change it to something there, or we're getting help from another company, we're partnering with somebody
mm,
to make it a little easier on us, that we're not taking all the risk.
yeah.
So you try and mitigate fear through good risk management.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. And what are you doing now, Henry? Is there anything that you're specifically doing apart from obviously the book that you've written?
Yeah, well, I mentor a lot of people, most of them Admiral people, some not Admiral people.
Mhm.
That's really, I'm living vicariously. These are really great people, and they've got careers that they're looking after, and people they're looking after, and doing interesting things. It's really, I think it's my best job ever. I also invest in quite a few companies,
Yeah,
small companies, startups, some good, some less good. We'll see. Give them a few more years. We'll see how they turn out. Yeah, so I keep pretty busy. Yeah,
oh, that's brilliant. Yeah,
I used to travel.
yeah. You don't
Uh,
travel anymore, no?
well, we came back for lockdown in the middle of March. We were on a trip in the U.S. Came back in the middle of March, and since then I've been away a total of 9 days. In almost a year. What are we coming up? We're over 10 months now, and
Yeah,
that usually it's the other way around. Usually I was home for 9 days and traveling most of the rest.
yeah.
So I tell you, there are benefits though. You wake up in the middle of the night, you know where the loo is, so that's a plus.
Yeah, no, for sure. I love traveling myself, and I've been to America a couple of times because I worked at a summer camp for
Hmm.
like 4 years
Whereabouts?
where we worked in Ohio. It was
Hmm.
by Cincinnati in Dayton.
Yeah.
And we worked with kids with special needs, and it was really
Hmm.
rewarding. And just being in America is such an amazing place. Like the people out there are really nice, so I really like America. And
Good.
like you said about investing as well, I've actually started investing myself, and I've been a lot into like stocks and stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get everyone on my team to start investing.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fun to learn about other businesses,
yeah,
and you can take the lessons from those other businesses and apply them to your own. So that's a really interesting aspect of investing. You really get to understand different industries and different consumers and different behaviors.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a really interesting aspect.
No, amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much, Henry. No, I appreciate your time a lot. And you must be a busy guy, of course. And no, thank you so much for doing the
My
podcast
pleasure.
today. Do you know roughly when your book will officially be coming out, just so I can?
Well, the book is on Amazon now. Amazon,
Okay.
if you go into Amazon and put in "Think, Lead, Succeed,"
Yeah.
it should come up. It's a self print. I'm talking to certain people about doing a more aggressive launch and things, and we'll see where we go with that. It was written for Admiral managers,
Yeah.
so that's the target audience. It is, I think, most managers of any business in any company would get something out of it,
Yeah.
but there is a clear a clear target.
Yeah, no, of course. When I was reading it, like I'm not a manager myself and I learned a lot from it. So I recommend it to everyone. And what I'll do is I'll put a link down below so people can
Great.
obviously go and check it out. Yeah.
Great.
Well, thank
And the vast majority of the royalties, that's the money that's not the printing cost,
you.
actually goes to charity. So
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. At the moment, myself, I'm really into giving back as well, and I've been running 15 kilometers every day for the month of January. So it's coming up to the last
wow.
3 days now. Yeah.
Oof. So those last 45K.
Literally, yeah.
Good for
No,
you. That's great.
no, thank you, Henry. Yeah, thank you for your time, and
My
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Honestly, thank you.
Stay healthy, Maret. Cheers.